this week's video. I inadvertently took a break from filming the last couple of weeks. I didn't plan to do it, but I had a bit of travel on and then a busy few days and then didn't feel well. So here we are. I'm going to flip through my daily pages for most of October. I was going to do the full month, but I think I did cover the first week or so in the last video that I uploaded. And then I'll show you kind of the beginning of November as well. And then we can have a quick look at the weeks and a quick look at my commonplace book as well. I've not added masses to that, but I did do a couple of entries yesterday. Hopefully the lighting is okay today. It's quite a gloomy November morning, but I've got some candles lit, which is also very atmospheric as well. I recently changed around like what sits where in my little office space, and I'm quite liking it. So I might be slightly off, but I think we're actually about halfway through the month last time I filmed. So, you know, this isn't a full October flip through, but if you did want to see that previous video, I'll pop the card up now. So for most of October, I think I didn't add masses of additional decoration in. So, you know, where we're starting here, it's what I'm sort of thinking of internally as my like colourful week, because my decoration had a lot of going on. It wasn't my favourite decoration of the month. Like each individual thing I like a lot, but all together I don't think it had the vibe that I quite wanted. So here was a day of like cleaning and resting, and then I had a day where we were out and about in a bit and we went to a gig in the evening. So I've written the text in red because I've actually caught up the following day. And then this is a day of a little bit of shopping and then going to work. And I'd also received some post. It was an order that I put in with a shop called Opal and Fern, and it was primarily some day of the week stickers that I was after from them for my book next year. But they did also put in a couple of freebies, and I did buy some of their sheets as well. I think they're relatively easy to access in here, so I'll just quickly, oh yeah. So the other sheets I got from them are called Library Date and A Little Bookshop as well. And I think they go particularly well with these from Chloe of Chloella Journals. So I'm looking forward to making use of those, if not in the next couple of weeks, potentially in my book for next year. We've got another entry written in red text here because we'd been to visit some friends in the evening. So, so I caught up the following day, and I've added a picture in here using my mini printer, and this is the pumpkins that we carved. It was a really nice evening, and normally if something Halloween-esque is happening, it's me initiating it, but our friends thought of it as like a fun activity for us to do, and we had a nice time doing that. We did it on the 19th, which was potentially like a tiny bit premature. By the time Halloween actually rolled round, our pumpkins were like really quite soft and mushy, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we had a nice time in the first place. A couple more what I'd call like standard entries here. So I was at work in the afternoon, but I'd had kind of a slow morning. Here I'd had a haircut, and I've written Frankenstein hunting in my like little description here. What do I mean by Oh, I know. There's a brand of wine that has done a collaboration with Universal Monsters, and they have bottles with Frankenstein's monster and the bride on the label, and then they were also doing drinking glasses with their faces on as well, and I was really keen to acquire those. So that's what I mean by Frankenstein hunting. And then I rested in the afternoon. I like this week's decoration quite a lot more. So I've got a sticker from Georgia Journals here. We've got Killer Views tape, and I've got then a selection of stickers from Sticky Club from the Halloween Advent that they did last year. This is an additional sort of freebie sticker that I put in. So I had a Planner Monkey Co. order arrive. I placed that order the same time I'd done the Opal and Fern order. Again, the focus was Day of the Week stickers, but there were a couple of other bits that I bought. And I've added a Megan coffee cup sticker here. I think I must have just had some nice coffee that day. The following day, most of the entry is taken up with the cards that came with a couple of my Hirano figures. So the range that's been done by Pop Mart for this Halloween featuring Hirano, absolutely like gorgeous, gorgeous figurines. And I really fell in love with the vampire one and the Plague Doctor one. Just for anyone who like doesn't know, I have a Plague Doctor tattoo. There's something about it that's so interesting from a historical point of view. Yeah, so I knew I wanted these guys specifically. I was going to look at going to a local blind box shop, but I figured actually, because I know who I want, I wouldn't have been disappointed per se with the others, but I kind of would have been. So I bought these two on Vinted, new out the box. So I've added those cards in, and then the following day I had a work day, but what was really nice was coming home to a little parcel from my friend Anna, who now and again will just send me and my partner things that she thinks that we'll like. So I've added in the post-it that she sent with that stuff. Probably my shortest entry in this book was just a work day this day, and I didn't have loads to say, so I've just written it there. I've added this picture in of Frankenstein's monster, which is from actually the following day. So my friend and I went to Bath for the weekend. It's strange, it was to celebrate my 30th birthday, but I'm actually 31 now. It was like from last year. And one of the first things that we did was we went to the Mary Shelley's House of Frankenstein Museum, which is like a much smaller, like lesser known, like tourist thing in Bath. But because I'm such a big fan of the creature and like, yeah, that book, I could go on about it for ages. I was really keen to go. And this is just, I cut it out from the leaflet for the museum. And yeah, we did some exploring. I've got a list here of the sort of main things that we did. And then the following day is another day in York, not York, Bath. It did remind me quite a bit of York. So if I've said York before, I've meant Bath. I've got a picture here that I took from the baths and my ticket. They were really good from like an accessibility point of view as well. So like I had my sunflower lanyard on and I was fidgeting with my slinky, I think it was, and like they said, they offered like a number of different ways that they could like support the visit, which was really good. Like I've not had that good an experience anywhere else like in public before, so that was something. We came home on this day and I showed my friend around the city that I now live in. Again, I've got a list here of kind of the main places that we went to. And then we're on to a new week. So we've got a new set of decoration here. So we've got some spiderweb tape that I was gifted, so I'm not too sure where it's from. We've got some, is this Maragona Suli? I think it is, the skull tape. We've got a bunch of stickers from Georgia Journals. We've got these really fun like Halloween Animal Crossing ones that I was gifted, and then again a selection of bits from Sticky Club, and these little green swirls are some of Bronte's as well. And I'd been given these like sort of random circular pumpkin ones, I think on my birthday. So what I just did like through the month was just dotting them here and there where it sort of fit. So another quite short entry because it was a work day. Similar sort of thing here. I had work and then did some tidying up. And this is kind of one of the reasons I like to do my decoration in advance, because even if I don't have much to say, there's something going on the page still. Another day where, okay, so I had a day at home, I cleaned, I read and I rested. I had done a click and collect, I think. Yeah, I'd done a click and collect, I think, of some bedding with ghosts on. And on this day I changed the bedding and this was on the front. And I could just quite like the, you know, the kind of bronzy shininess and the spider web on here. Because it's Halloween bedding, or Halloween themed bedding anyway. So it's a nice little reminder for that. And I just stuck in this picture from, that I had online, that I'd had on my corkboard at one point. Just because it kind of summarised the vibes of the day nicely while it's not one of my own photos. And then we got Halloween day itself. So it ended up being like quite a busy weekend. In the evening I went to a drag show with a few colleagues and friends, and it was a show to raise funds for people who need emergency aid over in Palestine. And this, I kind of like the final performer did like a reveal thing, and there was lots of confetti, and I was in the front row. So I like, when the confetti got thrown, I was like, oh, I can save some of this for my journal. So yeah, that's what the blue dots are that I've then added in, and then yeah, filled out the day and what I'd gotten up to. And then suddenly it's November. I think a few people that I watch have expressed similar sentiments, but October really did fly by. But I'm trying not to think of it as like, oh, that's the end of the sort of Halloween, spooky, haunted kind of vibes. I think November has very much got that liminality to it. And I always think of December and Christmas time. You know, a lot of the famous sort of Christmas stories involve the supernatural, involve ghosts and stuff. So I try to, essentially for the Burr months, being September, October, November, December, consider the whole period of time as like part of that. You know, we think about ancient peoples and the idea of like keeping safe over the winter and what the darkness can hold and stuff. And I think it's pertinent to carry it through to the new year at least. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of embrace things still and make things just as cozy and atmospheric as possible. And I think my little mood board kind of sums that up quite nicely. We've got a nice layered outfit that I found on Pinterest, a very cozy like cafe scene where it's raining outside, but there's lots of candles lit and it feels very warm. A meme from like one of my favourite Instagram pages, which does like X-Files memes, like it's like X-Files but make it queer. So we've got Mulder here with some Chapel Roan lyrics, and then we've got a cat sitting on top of a like a headstone in a very, very misty cemetery environment. And there's a cat near us that pretty much every time I go to work and every time I come back greets me and we'll have a cuddle and stuff, and it looks a lot like this one, so I kind of wanted that cat in here. Additional couple of bits, so I've gone over the number 11 that's already in the book, and I've done this kind of squiggly writing. This is something that I was inspired by Georgia to do. So I'm just grabbing, say, try not to read too much, but how she's written like Happy Halloween here on a letter to me that I still need to reply to. I just kind of wanted to emulate that because I'd put these November stickers down, and then the 11 just looked a bit feeble in comparison. So yeah, I've done that. These stickers are from the Ransom Note sticker book. This is something that Georgia sent me with her letter. We've got a few stars on here. This washi is just a bit that I had, like it was excess from something else I was doing, and I just stuck it to the side of the desk. And then I've got a quote here from Cynthia Ryland. In November, the earth is growing quiet. It's making its bed, a winter bed of flowers and small creatures. So that's kind of that vibe I said about where, yeah, it's like still spooky, it's quiet, it's restful, it's atmospheric still. And then we go into the first couple of days. So we're still on this Halloween week. So we've got this decoration carrying across with the Animal Crossing characters and stuff. Very happy that the update like news came in this week as well, because it fits really nicely. So this day I spent most of it at a horror event at my local Walkerstone, so a lot of it's writing about that, and I read quite a bit as well. My partner had been to an art market in a different city, and she brought me back a couple of bits and pieces, and even though I went out, I like probably shouldn't have realistically, but I wasn't really very well on this day, and it was making it much harder for me to like mask my autism basically. So this was one of the stickers my partner had got me, and it just felt very fitting for the day, so I just whacked it in straight away. On this day, slightly shorter, resting and resetting I called it. So I didn't have what I'd call like a horizontal day on this day. This was the day that I sort of shifted my desk around, but I had to take lots of breaks from it and sit and lie down a lot, and felt quite dizzy and gross doing it. Like, again, I probably pushed myself further than I should have, but like I just had this itch, I suppose might be a word to call it, like this need to change things around that would not go away, and it would have just bothered me and prevented me from resting properly, even if I tried to rest properly. So it's kind of good to get it out of my system. And then yesterday's entry, I wrote it quite early in the morning, and it was essentially like reflecting on the moving around I've done of my desk. And this was one of the reference pictures that I pulled from the internet for the kind of vibe that I wanted to go for as well. And then we're on to today, and we're in a new week. So this week is a very like classic autumnal feeling sort of set of spreads for me. We've got coffee, we've got mushrooms, lots of lovely earth tones here, a couple of stars dotted around, you know, it doesn't hurt. So yeah, I think these are going to be some nice pretty pages as well. Just quickly show you, this was my kind of tracker weekly spread here. These pages are never like the most interesting, but they're quite useful for me. And this is this week so far. I've added a big mood board in here. I was just I like reset my Pinterest and started collecting pins again, and yeah, I just wanted to add it in, and I always end up with sort of spare room on these spreads, so it wasn't going to do me any harm to include it. And then I have to fold this back on itself so much now, so it's actually quite awkward to navigate. And then this is how the October spread finished, with like my gratitude stuff. I added in my media bits along the side and my mood tracker here, and then made a start on November as well. Yeah, the book doesn't really stay closed anymore, so I've taken to popping an elastic around it when it's not in use, and it looks quite cute with that on anyway. So here we are in the current week. This is how last week finished up, so we can see with the decoration and things, you know, kept the theme quite consistent. And then this is how November's looking at the moment. I do have a couple of bits to add in, but I'm also anticipating I'll get my rota for work soon, so I'll just do that all in one go, I think. And then this is how October finished up. It's feeling really nice and full. So what I did on, I think the 1st or the 2nd, I came back, I added this sticker in from Papershire, and then I added these couple in as well, just on the days when I wasn't doing anything. And those are more from Sticky Club. So yeah, I think hopefully November's going to be a bit quieter. I need a bit of rest, I think, before December kicks in. So yes, that's the weeks at the moment. And then just to quickly show you the last couple of entries in here. Yeah, it's nothing major. So it starts at the bottom of this page. So that trip to Bath got me thinking quite a bit about Greek and Roman mythology again, and the interest that I have in that kind of wavers in and out for me. It's not a consistent interest. So I've got an entry that starts here about Athena, or Minerva, she's known in the sort of the Roman tradition, and it comes across to this page. Got a sticker here from the sticker treasury of Ghosts and Dark Curiosities. This was something that I like. So I got a Waterstones voucher from my colleagues for my birthday, and this was one of the main things that I bought with it. So you've got here like a ruins that it's not like the Pantheon, like it's not the classic ruins in Greece, but it's reminiscent of them, so I've added it in. And then we've got a Roman coin here found in Bath, and it's one that's got like the Minerva owl on, and that's one of the main symbols that's associated with her, so I've added that in. And then a short entry here on Persephone and the sort of myth and legend around her. Again, we've got another sticker here around from the sticker treasury book, which is like a depiction of kind of like a Grim Reaper thing. I in my head, I'm like kind of close to like a Hades-esque kind of image, and then with a pomegranate here that I'd found online. I think it'd come up on my Pinterest page. So not masses in here. Things are very much like quite slow in the commonplace, just because I'm at the moment my defaults really are working or resting, and when I'm resting doing what I think of as more like active things, so writing commonplace entries, reading, doing a jigsaw, things that I really enjoy doing. Often they are just too much at the moment. It's been a bit of a struggle because it means that I'm not as able to engage with my special interests as the autism needs and wants me to be. So it's all these different like overlapping things of like chronic health, autism, all that. But yeah, it was nice writing these entries yesterday. I think like the page layout looks quite nice as well, just with the images that I've used. I tend not to stick as much in into my commonplace book as I have in previous iterations of it, but I think it works nicely. I'm hoping that I can be, you know, a touch more consistent again going forward. You know, I was in a good rhythm of doing weekly videos, but I'm kind of going to need to listen to my body a bit and see how I get on. And if there is, you know, if there's an opportunity in a week where I've got an hour to film or an hour to like nap, then probably I'm going to nap, to be honest. So yeah, you just need to bear with me, this reality of what it's like managing multiple health issues. But hopefully it was nice to see those October pages and sort of get a sense of what November's looking like. It's been nice to sit and film and like create a nice little cozy space just to talk and think about what's been going on in my books. So hopefully it was interesting for you as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.